In the distant past, a hovering spacecraft left a desolate planet. A humanoid alien consumed a dark, bubbling liquid, causing its body to disintegrate completely. Its remains flowed into a nearby waterfall, initiating a biogenetic reaction. This sequence seemingly depicted the origin of life, with the planet, presumably Earth, becoming the cradle of a new evolutionary process. By the year 2089, archaeologists Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway unearthed a remarkable discovery in hidden caves on Scotland's Isle of Skye. They found a star map that mirrored similar ones uncovered from several unrelated ancient cultures. Estimated to be at least 35,000 years old, the map suggested a celestial connection across human history and pointed to a distant location in space. Peter Wayland, the aging CEO of the Wayland Corporation, financed the construction of the state-of-the-art scientific vessel Prometheus. Staffed by a crew of 17, the vessel was designed to journey to the distant moon LV-223, located 34 light-years away. The voyage took approximately 2 years and 4 months to complete, with the crew remaining in stasis while the ship was monitored by an android named David. David, programmed to function as the ship's maintenance manager and butler, was designed to appear indistinguishable from humans. Over time, however, it began exhibiting traits such as ego, envy, and insecurity. David also possessed the ability to establish neural links with the crew in stasis, allowing it to access their dreams and monitor their well-being throughout the journey. Upon their arrival in 2093, the crew, including Captain Janik, the unstable geologist Fifield, the curious biologist Milburn, medic Ford, and pilots Chance and Ravel, were briefed on their mission to locate the engineers, the creators of humanity. Mission Director Meredith Vickers cautioned them against initiating contact without her explicit approval, emphasizing the immense cost of the expedition, which the Wayland Corporation had funded for $1 trillion. Vickers herself lived in a self-contained module within the ship, equipped with an independent life support system known as the lifeboat, capable of functioning autonomously if necessary. Peter Wayland left a pre-recorded message for the crew, revealing that he had passed away during their voyage due to his advanced age. In the message, he acknowledged David, the android, as the closest thing he had to a son, a statement that clearly irritated Vickers. Wayland explained that the mission's purpose was to uncover humanity's origins and its ultimate purpose. He credited Shaw and Holloway as the individuals who had persuaded him to embark on this extraordinary journey. Shaw and Holloway presented evidence from various archaeological sites, spanning civilizations such as the Egyptians, Mayans, Sumerians, Babylonians, Hawaiians, and Mesopotamians. Despite being separated by centuries and lacking any direct contact, these cultures depicted identical star maps featuring giant beings pointing toward a specific star system. The star map indicated a system with a sun and a habitable moon, LV-223. Shaw interpreted this as an invitation from humanity's creators, whom she referred to as the engineers. A devout believer with unwavering faith, Shaw was convinced that the engineers were responsible for humanity's existence. Although LV-223's atmosphere closely resembled Earth's, its high carbon dioxide levels rendered it unbreathable for humans without spacesuits. The Prometheus touched down on the desolate, mountainous terrain of LV-223 near a vast, artificial structure. The team ventured inside where Fifield deployed drones to map the underground complex. To their astonishment, they discovered that the air inside the structure was breathable. As they explored further, they encountered numerous stone cylinders, a towering statue of a humanoid head, and the remains of a large alien, believed to be one of the engineers. Shaw recovered the head for further analysis. The team also found additional corpses, leading them to speculate that the species had become extinct. However, the discoveries unsettled some members of the crew. Milburn and Fifield, growing increasingly uncomfortable with the ominous findings, decided to return to the Prometheus. Their attempt to navigate back, however, was unsuccessful, and they became lost within the labyrinthine structure. David, acting secretly, takes one of the cylinders while the remaining cylinders begin to leak a dark liquid, which comes into contact with the ground's worm-like life forms. A rapidly approaching storm forces the crew to head back to Prometheus, leaving Milburn and Fifield stranded inside the structure. Meanwhile, David communicates with someone concealed in a stasis pod aboard the ship, and the voice instructs him to try harder. In the lab aboard the ship, it is revealed that the DNA of the engineer matches that of humans. David investigates the cylinder and the dark liquid contained within it. He then taints a drink with this substance and gives it to Holloway, who remains unaware of the danger. Soon after, Shaw and Holloway engage in a sexual encounter. Inside the structure, a snake-like creature kills Milburn, and it sprays a corrosive fluid that melts Fiefield's helmet, exposing him to the dark liquid leaking from the cylinders. The crew later returns to the structure, finding Milburn's lifeless body. Separately, David uncovers a control room that contains a surviving engineer in stasis. The room also holds a star map that highlights Earth's location. Holloway, having ingested the dark liquid, becomes infected, and the infection rapidly spreads through his body. He is rushed back to Prometheus, but Vickers refuses to let him aboard, and at his urging, she burns him alive with a flamethrower. In a self-conducted medical scan, Shaw discovers that, despite being sterile, she is pregnant with an alien creature. Using Vickers' automated surgery table, Shaw extracts and subdues the squid-like creature that was growing inside her. Later, Shaw learns that Wayland, Vickers' father, has been in stasis aboard the ship. Wayland reveals that his sole mission is to ask the engineers how to avoid dying from old age. As he prepares to venture out to the structure, Vickers addresses him as Father. Soon after, a mutated monstrous version of Fifield returns to the Prometheus, launching an attack that kills several crew members before being killed by Janik, the captain of the ship. Janik speculates to Shaw that the structure was originally an engineer military base, which had lost control of a dangerous biological weapon, the dark liquid. He concludes that the underground structure is, in fact, a spacecraft. Wayland and a team of crew members return to the structure, where they attempt to awaken the engineer. David communicates with the engineer, who responds by decapitating him and killing Wayland along with his team. Shaw manages to escape the spacecraft just as the engineer activates it. She desperately flees and warns Janik, telling him that the engineer plans to release a destructive force on Earth with the intention of exterminating all life forms. Shaw convinces Janik to stop the spacecraft, and he, along with the remaining crew members, sacrifices themselves by ramming the Prometheus into the alien craft, while ejecting the lifeboat in the process. The engineer's disabled spacecraft crashes onto the planet, and its wreckage crushes Vickers. Shaw makes her way to the lifeboat, where she finds that her alien offspring is still alive and has grown to a gigantic size. David's still active head warns Shaw through the intercom that the engineer survived the crash. The engineer forces the lifeboat's airlock open and attacks Shaw. In response, Shaw releases her alien offspring onto the engineer. The creature thrusts a tentacle down the engineer's throat, subduing him. Shaw recovers David's remains, and with his assistance, she launches another engineer spacecraft. Her goal is to reach the engineer's homeworld to understand why they had intended to destroy humanity. Meanwhile, in the lifeboat, an alien creature bursts out of the engineer's chest.